In this podcast, you get a real-life glimpse into a student's transformation. I take you into the actual coaching sessions, week by week, and you can see the student's progress in real time. So without further ado, here is AGL Live.
Marquee.
You went to Marquee yesterday?
Yeah.
How was it?
It was fucking awesome, dude.
Who was playing?
I don't care. It was just like Tyler, Max, and Luke was there.
Yeah.
We were like all gaming together.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just like in sets together, just like fucking around, just having baller time.
Yeah.
And I was just having so much fun. Like all the artists, like the Honeysuckle SF people were there. Like all my homies were there. It was like so fun.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's like so much like rockish shit. It's like grabbing girls left and right and like saying like butcherous shit. Yeah, it was really fun. And then 2 a.m. people start pulling, so I'm like, alright,
boys, nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice
Alright,
meeting you.
good night.
I'm Marcus.
Time to pull, so I get into those like that beast mode and then like
Yeah.
start like screaming really hard, like hitting like girls here and there. They didn't really go anywhere, so I left and we walked around a bit. Brian and Leo pulled, and then Ramirez didn't want to game. He doesn't like the street game, so he just left. So it's like all by myself, and I'm like, alright, I could have to go back home, or I could just burn to the ground. So I just like started to burn to the ground, but then I really didn't. I just like sat down like in a bar, just like watched other people fucking burn it to the ground.
Yeah.
Just being a joke for a while, and then I'm like, alright, fuck it, let's just do some sets. Let's see how it goes. And then because I didn't do anything for like a while, I just like became like really in my head. Became really kind of sheepish.
Yeah.
When I was approaching to the girls. And I'm like, hey, can I go to your room? Stuff like that. Just being a bit like really chody. And yeah, I didn't really know what to say. I felt like kind of shameful, like I felt kind of shameful about like trying to pull them. Something about like street game, like that kind of repulses me. Is like very like chasing vibe sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit, I guess. It moves really fast. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because like if you don't move it forward quickly, they're just gonna go.
Yeah.
And as soon as they start leaving, then you're starting to chase them.
Yeah.
So I've noticed like street pulls, they happen pretty quickly. It's like you meet them, they're like, oh, let's grab some pizza or something.
Yeah.
But you start moving it forward immediately.
Yeah.
And then from there you can try to pull.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it happens pretty quickly.
Sometimes it feels like sometimes it repulses me because it's like such a chasing vibe. Just like guys like chasing girls like around the casino. It just looks bad to me. I feel like I'm above it. I get the ego.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm better than that.
Yeah.
But then it's really just what it is.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess maybe the way they do it too feels like it's chasey.
Yeah.
Like I think other guys can get away with chasing without looking like it's chasing that much if they're having a good time.
Yeah.
Like I think Kevin's pretty persistent, but at the same time, it doesn't look like he's ever chasing because he's always laughing. Like he's always he thinks everything is funny.
Yeah.
So, like, for him, it's not really chasing that much.
Yeah. I guess when I see most guys, just like,
Yeah, they need
anybody a drink? Like,
yeah.
where are you going?
Yeah, it's like pretty meaty.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the difference. I remember Todd talking about how neediness is a quality, not a quantity. Basically meaning that you can try for something as many times as you want to, but the way you do it determines neediness. A lot of guys think that the quantity is what determines the neediness. Like if I ask for a number again and again and again, she's gonna feel like I'm needy. That's actually not true. If you're just like completely outcome independent and free and having fun with it, she's gonna not mind that much. Have you ever watched the show Californication? It's actually a pretty good show to watch.
Yeah. Is
But
it a TV show or?
yeah, it's a TV show. It's on Netflix or Hulu or something. Actually, it's on free some TV like
Yeah.
You can look it up. It has like 3 episodes on it.
Yeah.
But basically, like the main character, he's trying to get his ex-wife back for a certain period of time as well.
Yeah.
And the way he does it, he's like so self-amused by it that it's not even. It doesn't feel like he's chasing it all, even though he does it every time he sees her. And so I suppose that's the thing to note. And then I actually wrote an article about it, like the difference between neediness and persistence. Why send that to you? It's not on my website; it's on another website. But yeah, and then the ego thing as well. I guess it's important to observe.
I can't believe I've been just going out in this kind of like my tiredness seems more apparent now that I'm not in the club environment.
Yeah.
So this is like how I am, like usually in the club, like at this time.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to pull.
Yeah.
And I'm like tired as fuck. I feel like this makes me more aware. Like I shouldn't judge myself too hard because I'm doing shitty. Like obviously, like you're going shitty. I'm tired as fuck.
Yeah, it's like judgment fatigue, basically. And it also shows like when you're in the club and you're usually this tired, but maybe you weren't that tired yesterday. Most of the fatigue is coming from the fact that you're thinking about the fatigue.
Yeah.
I realized that when I first came to Vegas and I was going out constantly, and I was like sleeping 2 to 3 hours a night, and I was like, I wasn't even tired because I always had something going, and I basically told myself that I wasn't tired. I didn't actively tell myself that. I just didn't think about the tiredness. That being said, though, there are physical things that happen when I'm tired, where I start to fall asleep in random places. But aside from that, like, I don't feel as tired as other people do. Because I feel like someone will be like, oh, I slept 4 hours last night, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, like, you could get away with sleeping 2 to 3 hours a night for a month straight and still not be that tired, just because it's mostly in your mind.
Yeah.
I'll send this to you as well. This article. What were your biggest takeaways from the week?
It's like execution, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I really resonated with what Darius was saying.
Yeah.
The importance of just cutting the shit and just just don't get swayed by emotions and getting the discipline.
Yeah, execution is definitely something that's a key principle in success in general.
Yeah.
I think Gary Vee talks about, he's like...
I was just thinking about that in my head too.
Yeah, he has like 2 steps for success, like self-awareness and then execution.
Yeah.
Once you're self-aware, then you know what your sticking points are, and then you can just I think awareness wears down your sticking points over time. Because imagine if you're fat and you weigh yourself every day, you become more aware of the problem.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you're naturally going to want to lose weight, or you're naturally going to take steps towards losing weight.
Yeah.
it comes to execution, I mean, it's a matter of like just letting go, not overthinking too much, and taking action. There's action momentum that happens. It's calibrating your ego to reality.
And just like with my money too, I felt a lot of stuff like just being more financially aware. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing I'm lacking right now.
Yeah, financial.
Because I had to ask my parents money like twice this week, and one was. I mean, I don't judge myself too hard on it because I feel like it's necessary for me. Like I spent most money like with this month's of year coaching and like Derek's boot camp.
Yeah.
And then I still ran out of money, so I gotta like ask for money from my mom again.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like I never realized I spent this much money.
Yeah.
In my life.
I think the biggest thing to do is to track it.
Yeah.
Like I literally write down every single cent that either comes into my bank account or that I spent.
Yeah.
Like even if it's 25 cents, like I'll write that down.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty meticulous about it, so it makes you very self-conscious and self-aware of your financial situation at all times.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the major thing, because for you, like you have limited opportunities in how to make money in America.
Yeah.
So it's not like your situation's different from most people. It's not like I can just tell you to make money by working necessarily. I mean, you definitely do want to do the weed trimming job if you can.
I thought about that a lot too, so I'm gonna find ways to like get a green card, and like I think my main priority in like financial situation right now is like how I can make money in Korea if I can, and kind of carry the online business.
Yeah. And
I'm also gonna talk to the immigration lawyer here, see what I can do to get the green card as fast as possible.
Yeah. It's definitely a good plan.
Yeah.
And at least you're actually thinking critically about it.
Yeah.
Which is key. Like, I think that's the biggest thing. I think most people just kind of give up. They don't bother even thinking about solutions.
Yeah.
But if you constantly are solution oriented, then you're going to get so much further in life.
Yeah.
Whether that's wealth or even like polling. I mean, that's the main thing with polling. Polling is like an analogy for most problems in life on a micro scale. Because during a poll, like you have to solve obstacles and figure out solutions to different things that come up. And that's why I think pickup is so applicable to life in general. It's because it's an analogy for the way life is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that's key, is like being solution oriented versus like problem minded.
And I think I'm gonna get a van.
A van?
I think I'm just gonna ask 2 months of rent for my parents and then just buy a van.
And then
I wouldn't have to spend any money on fucking rent.
Mm-hmm.
And I could move anywhere I want.
Yeah.
I could work anywhere I want.
Yeah.
I really don't care about where to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've wanted to do that too, actually.
And this week, I just figured out that I could actually cook without having a full kitchen.
Yeah.
I think I could do that.
The camping thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I was looking for something.
And yeah, I think I'm gonna go vegetarian too, just to cut my food expense. Just thought about it. If I just ate beans for the protein and maybe some carbs here and there, I figured out like we actually didn't need that fucking icebox at all. Like we could have just bought. I forgot that we could have just bought like all dried food and just like live off that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, like what I do when I go camping.
Yeah, when I'm saving money, I just go to the dollar store and buy a bunch of canned food.
Yeah.
To save money.
Yeah.
It works pretty well. You don't need to need a fridge or anything like that.
Yeah. Exactly.
And sometimes it came to the point where I didn't have a place to heat it up, so I just eat it straight out of the can. Which is kind of nasty, but then it's not too bad though. It's still food. It's like
That's the thing. That's the thing I realized. It's all food.
Yeah.
Like you don't need it to taste good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
It's better if it tastes good, but
Yeah, and actually wasn't too bad cold. It tastes like cold soup or something.
yeah. If you're really hungry, you just fucking eat it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, like do you know Dave Ramsey at all?
No.
He's like a personal finance guy. But basically he talks about like you should live according to how your net worth is. Like if you're $63,000 in debt, then there's no reason why you should be living in the house and have have bought a house already and have a nice car on lease and things like that. And there's so many people in America that are doing that.
Really?
And so what he advocates is essentially like cutting up your credit cards and then just first of all building up some savings in cash.
Yeah.
And so you use that, but then it's like a six-step system. So it's building $1,000 of savings. Then you start paying off all your debt, your credit card debt, student loan debt. And then after that, you start saving more until you have like 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. It's about $10,000 saved up.
Yeah.
And then from there, you start investing.
Yeah.
So beyond just that savings is when you start investing into like stocks or whatever, or bonds, things like that. And that's where you grow financial wealth without having any debt whatsoever.
Right.
And Dave Ramsey's super popular, so...
Dave Ramsey?
Yeah. And I'll give you... I was coming up with a list of like the best finance books that I've read that were paradigm shifting for me, and it came down to 4 of them, and you read Secrets of a Millionaire Mind already.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Yeah, Rich Dad, Poor Dad is one of them.
What was that talk about?
Basically, do you know about like passive income?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he talks about how his poor dad like worked at a university and was a professor, and it looked like he had a lot of money, but it's not passive income. It's like he has to work for every cent that he earns, so it's like a salary. Whereas his rich dad just found ways to make passive income and have as many streams of passive income as possible, and then increase the flow of it. So he mostly focused on real estate, so just buying houses, and then he didn't really have to do much with it. Like he didn't have to actively.
And he would just rent it out.
Just rent it out, yeah. It's a lot of work, but you can also hire people to monitor it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that I realized when I read it is that you don't even have to go into real estate. You can go into online space.
Yeah.
So if you buy a website,
Kind of world we live in now.
yeah, exactly. So like it's a no expense way to buy real estate. Like you get buy a piece of online real estate by building a website.
Yeah.
And it's really cheap actually. And so when you build a website and you start selling digital products, you don't even have to. There's no work that you're doing with the client in that immediate time, because I mean you just sell it to them and they consume it, and then you could have a monthly subscription, things like that, and you don't have to constantly like be part of it. If that makes sense. It's more passive. It's like you can make money while you're sleeping.
Yeah. I also thought about that too, and then I still have like a little bit of like resistance in my head. Like, if I want to start a YouTube channel, like, and make a even if I make a product, I feel like I feel really guilty about like charging people about anything.
To target people, you said?
Charge people.
Oh, charge people. That's
like,
actually.
I feel like everything should be just free. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so that's actually really common. A lot of people feel that, where they hate taking money from people.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to information. But, I mean, it's actually interesting because people want to buy your things. Like, you want to buy your products.
Yeah.
It actually, like, a lot of times, like, I don't know how to explain it, but basically, with RSD, so they give out a lot of content for free, but at the same time, you kind of want to buy a product from them too.
Yeah. That's
like,
the thing though, like, whenever I see those products, I buy them too.
Yeah.
But then, like, I always think, like Max, like, you really care about these people, like, why do you make them pay, like, $500?
Yeah, but...
When you already have so much money, like, why do you
But why do you buy the products?
I thought it was going to be very useful for me. Yeah.
And was it useful? And were you glad that you bought it?
Somewhat. Not that much. But
What's like the best product that you bought?
that's interesting. I think the one I valued spent most time on was Tyler's very first product.
Blueprint?
Blueprint, yeah.
And did you feel like it was worth it to buy the product?
Yeah.
Were you like
It was $500 at that time.
Yeah.
But I watched it twice. In a row.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it changed your life and everything, right?
Pretty much,
yeah. So I mean, in that case, did you feel like were you glad that you spent the money to buy the product though?
In the long term, yeah. If I didn't, I wouldn't have known it.
Yeah, I think at a certain point, the thing is, if you give everything away for free too, then people are going to devalue it.
That is true.
They won't appreciate it, and a lot of people they actually want to buy products because let's say you hear someone speak, and you're like, oh, what kind of products are you selling? Because you're interested in actually consuming more of their deeper content.
Yeah.
Like the ones that actually transform lives and things like that, like coaching product. Like I think even when I gave you my product and then I think you asked me if I was still coaching or something.
Yeah.
That's a situation where it's like you're looking for an opportunity to. It's not just spending money for the sake of spending money, but it's like spending money where you're getting value in return. And because you want. It wouldn't mean as much if I just did it for free.
Yeah.
You wouldn't value it as much. You probably wouldn't take the things that I tell you to do as seriously. And there's just something different about the paid situation versus the free situation.
So you think RC people charge people that much money just so they can value it more?
I think part of it is actually it was an interesting talk today because they talked about premium products, and so this guy is talking about 5,000 plus in terms of the price point, so $5,000 and up, and he was saying on a lot of levels that's way better than charging only a couple $100, and because there's a few reasons. For one, it qualifies your clientele. So basically, the people that are spending that much money are the most committed. So I mean, we both spent money on immersion.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty high price point product.
Yeah.
And
probably $4,000 total.
Yeah. So I mean, we in particular people like us take more action than the traditional RSD person. And so it qualifies us in that sense and also creates a better community. It screens out people that aren't as committed. So that's one reason. I should actually look at my notes. I think they're in my car. But there's another reason as well. I'm trying to remember what it was. But yeah, there is this self-esteem thing. And I go through it too. With my price points, I know that my price points could be definitely higher for what I'm offering. That talk made me realize that because basically what he was offering was an hour of coaching a week, Skype coaching and whatever, and it was $2,000 for one of his clients. And I was like, oh shit,
Do that to me.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna raise your price in particular, but I just raise it to $5,000. Yeah, but I'm probably gonna raise it in the future for sure. Not for you, but for my future clients. But just because I go through the same thing, I'm going through the same thing right now, where I'm am I worth that much, or is my service worth that much? I guess it helps too that I have a relative measure because I was coaching in immersion and I know what their value is worth as well.
Yeah.
So then I have a general idea of what my coaching is worth.
Yeah.
What would you say, if I didn't have you as a student right now, like, what would you pay hypothetically for the mentorship? Like, what would be worth comparing it to like RSD stuff too? I guess
Objectively.
yeah.
Well, what does it entail again?
So
like very first like meeting,
yeah.
and then Skype coaching from in the future.
Yeah, so the very first meeting where I like break down footage and things like that, and then I just spend time with you, and then weekly Skype coaching and daily reports, and having the group chat as well.
Yeah.
I guess we could look at it differently. Like, would you pay like $5,000 for it? Okay. Would you pay like $2,000 for it? All right. Would you pay $1,000 for it?
I think 400 was like right about me, like what I wanted to do. Maybe
Okay.
500. Yeah.
All right.
It's for me though.
Yeah.
That's like my willingness to pay.
Right.
Like, anything about that, even if it was valuable, like I feel like I could do it.
Yeah, that's interesting because when I look at it objectively as well, I mean basically it's like a one-on-one boot camp, and then I also do like a bunch of stuff on top of it.
Yeah.
So then I guess because I haven't built up a brand, it's part of it.
Okay, I guess if you look at it that way.
Because it's like for RC instructors, they have 3-on-1 boot camps and they charge $2,000.
Yeah.
Derek charges $6,000 for a one-on-one boot camp for 3 days. And then for me, like I was trying to offer as much value as possible. So it's like a one-on-one boot camp with breakdown and then follow-up as well, like pretty in-depth follow-up. I guess I would have to, like in my marketing, I would have to like frame it that way too, especially if you know RSD. And I would be like, well, most pickup boot camps are $2,000 a weekend for 3 days.
Yeah.
And maybe they film you one time. Whereas for me, like I'm doing like a one-on-one experience, and I'm filming you a couple of times and breaking it down,
Yeah.
and then following up each week, and then also doing daily reports. Because
Yeah.
I've gotten this, like I've asked a couple of other guys, and then like one hesitated, but he was in immersion before. And I was wondering, like, because I was charging $600 now a month, and then I was like, because he said that's kind of a high price, and I was thinking like, well, he paid $2,000 for immersion, and I feel like I don't know, it's a closer, more intimate coaching experience.
I think my first months I would have paid like 700 to 800.
Yeah.
But then just the coaching, like maybe succeeding months, even if I hadn't gone to Vegas, like now, and just kept doing Skype and do the daily report and the angel chat, I think 400 is about right.
Yeah, so
Or even maybe less. That's my honest opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like just doing a monthly visit,
Yeah.
and then just having 4 students, and then just visit each student every month.
Yeah.
But then also having like a higher price point.
Yeah.
That's probably because then I would be able to do it full time pretty much.
Yeah.
We got 4 students.
Yeah. Because I think like Skype and I don't think Skyping itself and the chat itself doesn't really amount to like 600.
Yeah. That's the interesting thing though, is like for me, I think that the chat is like one of the most valuable things.
Yeah.
But I don't think you realize the value as like not you in
Yeah,
particular.
yeah.
not you in particular, but like people in general don't realize the value as much about the chat until they leave the chat. It's like when you were in immersion and you had Telegram, and then you're removed from Telegram, and you're like, oh shit, like I just got removed from Telegram. Like I think that happens to a lot of people, and that happened to me too. When I was removed, I was like, oh shit, like I was relying on that a lot. Because I was able to always go to that chat and then get advice from people, or even just have like that community of banter back and forth. Where it's like entertainment or amusement.
I guess I don't really care about it that much, like the chatting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it might be just me. I never like really liked group chats that much.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was kind of waste of time always, like any group chat.
Yeah.
People are just like fucking around.
Yeah, that's actually the valuable part, though, because that's where you pick up the subconscious things.
Yeah.
Like, you see how people text.
Yeah.
Like, especially with Kevin, like, I just observed the way he texted me, or the way he would text in group chats. And I picked up on that, and he used it when I was texting girls. And it worked really, really well.
Makes sense.
So that happens where you start to absorb their behaviors or their language or the way they present themselves. Because actually, that's why I included the group chat as well, is because when I was in the excess group chat, I was in a group chat of naturals, and my game started going up. I mean, it wasn't just me going to... I mean, part of it was me going to the club with a bunch of girls. Like, that definitely helps. But one instrumental part of it was the group chat. And I know Kevin also joined a group chat where it was just his natural friends. And same sort of thing happened, he said, where when that happened... his game went to another level because they were constantly getting laid but not making it like it wasn't a big deal to them, and he started to develop that mentality and start to seep into his subconscious. And I think Omari that same thing happened to him as well. Because he was telling me about that. So I think that's like one of the underrated valuable things is the group chat. But yeah, I guess that's an interesting side tangent though, like the pricing part of it. So, yeah, I guess when it comes to taking money, because I think there was one chapter in The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind where he talks about that, where you can, where a lot of people feel guilty about taking money from other people.
Yeah, I think that's what you're...
And then he was saying actually it's the inverse where people want to give gratitude towards you, so that's why they actually want to buy your products. And they value it more. Otherwise, they wouldn't spend money on it at all. It's not like you need the products.
Like always, like when I think that, like my socialist friends, like just keep it. I don't know. I just hear their voice like in my head.
Yeah.
Like how could you do that? Like you're fucking extracting. You're exploiting other people. Like
But the thing is, it's not exploiting them unless you're forcing them to buy your products.
Yeah.
So that's the difference in economics. Is like. If you were like coercing them purchasing your things, then that would be like a zero sum sort of situation.
Right. But then it's almost like fucking manipulative, like all those like marketing strategies and shit.
Yeah. So the marketing strategies. I mean, the way I think about it, like I don't really focus too much on the like little tactics, but sometimes I'll include them. But the way you have to look at it is you have to really believe in your product, though. Like if you genuinely think that your product is gonna change lives and is that transformational,
so
then
to be manipulated
a little bit because they don't like your audience doesn't understand how good your product is.
Yeah.
So all you want to do is get them to purchase your product so you can start the relationship.
I actually thought about that too a little bit.
Yeah. So a lot of guys get into pickup because they want more sex.
Yeah.
And a lot of the marketing is really flashy. But then once you get into it, then it's a lot about like self-development that you wouldn't have never purchased a product if you thought it was about self-development.
It's actually good that we're having this talk because I thought about that too. Like maybe RSD people are actually talking about all these like flashy shit, talking about like why you're not enough, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just so once you get the product, they let you know that you are enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they're trying to just get their foot in the door.
Yeah.
Like they'll tell like maybe flashy stories or or really poke at your insecurities
Yeah.
just to get you to buy the product. But then once the doors open, then they can actually start doing their work and start fixing you. That's the way I perceive it too.
I kind of see the negative side of that too, though. Because I feel like they do that a lot in free contents, just to make you feel like more insecure, to buy their products. It's kind of like a loop. Like if you follow the product, you're gonna get a little better, but then like I mean, of course, like you're gonna like hit some roadblocks, right? Like if you're in the process of getting better with swimming, and then you feel like you're not getting it right. Then you watch like some other free shit because you don't trust the product anymore. Then they make you feel shitty. Then they're gonna go buy another product. Then it's gonna same cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that as well, where people are like perpetual students.
Yeah, like exactly that. That's the kind of shit I go through too.
Yeah. That's why I designed my structure the way I did, is because like for me I wanted a progression where it's like, as my long-term goal is to have the student go from student to mentor them, like they actually mentor other people. So because I think you learn a lot from coaching. There's a lot of nuances that you pick up on that you don't necessarily pick up on as a student, and it's actually really difficult sometimes to coach someone. But then that also makes you more self-aware because you're like, oh shit, I was doing that too, and it makes it like more on point.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Like, what do you think about the way you I guess you kind of mentor some people back in San Francisco as well? Like, how is that experience?
It's definitely not easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I don't know the answer myself. I just try to be like very honest and try to relate to them.
Yeah.
Rather than try to teach them what to do. And tell them my honest opinions on what they're going through.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I try to approach them more as a friend than like, well, I'm above you, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you what to do. Because I don't feel confident in myself right now as a coach, like to like tell someone what to do. Because I don't have the result myself.
Right.
So I come from very like humble position, like trying to help them out instead of like I do this, do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. There is like a time and a place for both, actually. That's what I've learned from both teaching and coaching.
Yeah.
Because when I was teaching, and kids exploit this more because guys that you meet and pick up, or guys that are older, aren't going to try to exploit people as much.
Yeah.
Just because like they're more mature.
Yeah.
But when I was teaching junior high, like anytime I was a bit uncertain or I showed some, like if I showed too much humility, then they would exploit to the point where they're like, oh, we're not going to listen to you then. So then they start to lose respect for you. So there's a matter of like calibration between authority and humility. Where sometimes you do have to kind of talk down to them a bit. You probably don't really need to experience that yet.
No, I experienced it too, actually.
Yeah, it's like they won't listen to you. It's like I know what's right for, like, not right for you, but like I know that if you were to implement what I was telling you, then it would be a lot better for you.
Yeah.
And they just refuse to listen, just because maybe they don't completely respect your opinion, or they just are not able to let go of their own ego. Or a combination of both. So yeah, there's a time and a place for both. That's why like sometimes I'm like super hard on you, but then other times I'll like let off the gas. Because everything is a balance. It's all about temperance. Yeah. And then I imagine like being a good mentor or a coach or whatever is all preparation for becoming a father or something. It's like you can start to see that where it's a matter of being tender at certain points, but also being hard at certain points. And so it's an interesting balance to strike. Also really difficult.
So another thing I learned was Derek said
Yeah.
Talked about that a lot. Just saying whatever's on your mind, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just not being shameful about it.
Yeah.
That resonated a lot with me. I don't really necessarily agree with like using the words like faggotry or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Really talking down a woman.
Yeah.
I mean, I do that a lot too, but yeah, just being able to speak my mind.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to make money, I'm gonna tell them I want to make money, and then if I want to pick up girls on the street, I'm gonna tell my friends like I
Yeah.
pick up girls on the street.
Yeah, exactly. I remember actually Miami Summit. One of the first times I heard Derek spoke. I think it was the second time I heard him speak.
Yeah.
I remember I went out to the day game the day after, and the two things I implemented was his approach ethic. Like I literally just approached every single hot girl I saw, and I went down one street, like a few blocks, and I approached 14 girls. And I remember like I was just super honest because they would ask me what I was in Miami for. I was like, well, I came here for a conference where I learned how to get laid.
Yeah.
That's what I told them straight away.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they'd be like, oh, like they'd start laughing, like thinking it was a joke. And then they realized that I was serious. And then they became like actually attracted or interested,
Yeah.
at least. I remember the very last girl, like, she was one of the hottest girls I ever talked to.
Yeah.
Now that I was thinking about it. She was like in her bikini. She was from Canada. And I think she was like some sort of model. And then I did the same sort of thing where I just went straight up to her unapologetically, and she asked me what I was doing. I was like, oh, I'm trying to get laid or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd been going to a conference to try to get laid. And then we went straight to the beach, and part of my morning routine was to meditate. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to meditate for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
She's like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. And I just started meditating. And then she just kind of sat there until I was done. And then I just like took her number and went to the summit. I didn't really take it any further, but I mean that showed me that the honesty, like the unbridled, like just say whatever's on your mind.
Yeah.
Because then I started realizing that a lot of times I naturally have qualifying thoughts come to my mind throughout my day in very small ways. Like if I were to stand up and try to go to the bathroom right now, I would feel the need to say like, I have to go to the bathroom or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, that's kind of like an empathetic one.
Right.
I'd be like, why the fuck is he leaving?
I was like, what? Okay.
But that's like a small example of, because I think there's a balance between empathy and qualification as well. Sometimes you need to qualify yourself a bit to be empathetic with a person.
Yeah.
But then we also excessively qualify ourselves in certain situations where we feel shame. And I think honesty, when it comes to sexual topics or just honesty in general, is one place where a lot of guys can improve. Yeah. I'm getting pretty tired though.
Huh?
I'm getting pretty tired. I might go to bed soon. Were you gonna say something?
Oh, I was gonna ask, just like, what did you think of it?
Of the boot
Throughout
camp?
the whole week.
Oh, this week? Let's see. So I went to Maze's talk and Madison's a little bit until Owen hijacked it. Yeah, Maze's talk was alright. Like, I guess I just went for the questions part of it. But it seemed pretty generic. He does have interesting elements of energy and spirituality, and also a creative element too.
Yeah.
I would have to learn more about him. I mean, there wasn't anything that really stuck out in terms of his talk.
Yeah.
My two favorite talks were Derek's and Ozzy's.
Yeah.
And yeah, Derek killed it. Like, I've seen his talk, I think 6-7 times. It's the same stories and everything.
Yeah.
But then this time just really struck a chord. I think he was just on from the very beginning. He didn't usually do the things where he gives stuff out. Like, that was new. And also telling more about his story was new.
Yeah.
And that's actually a key thing in marketing, is to lower yourself to where your client or your audience is. What do you want to do typically? Like, if you're marketing to someone, is you want to talk about your own insecurities and relate to them on that level. And that's what I was telling Luke. Like, when I wanted to do marketing for Luke's product, I was telling him that he's too unrelatable to people when he's marketing for Vegas Immersion. he's marketing like this glorious like table every night lifestyle with models all around him, bottle service. And I was like, guys can't relate to that. If you talked about the way you grew up as a computer programmer and the way like you had a really hard childhood and you had a strained relationship with your father, and then started talking about your evolution and your hero's journey towards that end destination, then people would latch onto that a lot more. And I think that's why he came out with one of his launch videos was his story. And actually, I think that was like one of his best videos.
Yeah.
Where he talked about his upbringing in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And that's like a key element of marketing is like bring yourself down to their level and then take them through your journey. And they're like, oh, I can really relate to that.
Yeah.
And then talk about the way you did it.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. I can't remember what. Oh yeah, Derek's talk. So he did that really well.
Right.
So like you could start to feel where he came from, and he felt more approachable because I never felt like he was approachable ever before that. I always thought, oh, he's like kind of uptight, and he looks down to people.
Yeah.
But then when he gave like a more empathetic perspective on his life, then I felt like, oh, he could actually be my friend, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then Ozzy's talk I thought was pretty interesting. I just like his perspective on things because he doesn't feel the need to conform to any of the RSD dogmas necessarily.
Just does his own shit.
Yeah, he's like on his
Everything
own island.
tested,
Yeah, it's experience based, and a lot of it is like emotional based, like based on fear and anxiety.
Yeah.
Which I find really interesting. And it's interesting that me and Ozzy have a very similar system for going out because he does fear tech, and that's what I incorporated from him. But then I came up with the moving within like a certain number of minutes sort of thing, and then isolating and then making out and then pulling. And then it's interesting how we came up with these things independently of one another.
Yeah.
And it seems to work pretty well. But I guess I took a similar approach where it was all experiential. And that was pretty much it. That was like the last talk I saw, I think.
Yeah. What do you think about like me?
I've actually definitely seen an evolution. I think we talked about this
It's like
earlier.
not even this week, but then like just throughout the whole month. Yeah, I guess.
Throughout the whole month. We talked about the listening part of it. And listening.
Yeah.
Like the very beginning, there was a degree of empathy that was lacking in terms of like when you listen to someone, like you really want to get into what they're thinking and just pause to think about what their world is like. Whereas like in the beginning when I was coaching you, it felt like you would hear something and frame it in your world, and then try to attack like what the other person was saying.
Yeah.
Kind of defending your position.
Yeah.
Or just trying to defend your identity when it came to something.
Yeah.
Whereas now I feel like you just take on a more introspective mindset that's more inquisitive. I guess like more Socratic.
Yeah.
Socrates, where he questions things, but he's not questioning based on like a cross-examination sort of perspective.
Yeah.
It's more from a place of like, I'm curious. Like I'm open-minded and I want to know what your life is like.
Yeah.
And I think when you approach people like that, then it's a lot easier to have a conversation with them. But there is a time and a place to be assertive as well and be like, you know what, you're just fucking wrong. Like, and usually that comes into play when the other person hasn't critically thought about their position. That's when I'll call them out. So that's when I was like calling you out on certain things. It wasn't because of your ideas. It was because of the way you came up with your ideas, or the source of the ideas itself. So I don't really have that much problem with science. Like I have a lot of scientific thoughts as well. I think science is extremely useful, but then it's a matter of like understanding where science is in the greater scheme of ideas. And I think to devalue religion and to just say that science is better just because it's based on rationality and calculations isn't really a good, viable way to go about thinking about the world critically. I guess, yeah, for me, like, I guess this is the ultimate thing, is that I think everyone has an interesting opinion about something, and you kind of have to respect it to an extent. I place all opinions on equal footing at first, until I realize, okay, this person, like, it's clear that they haven't critically thought about something. But even if it's an extreme position, like maybe they think slavery is awesome, then I would be like, I'm interested to know more about that. Like, why do you think that? But it's not like, but you haven't thought about this, this, and this. I'm not attacking them. I actually gain more just from listening. Because by attacking them, all you're doing is making them retreat into their shell, and they're not going to want to share with you.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and you're not going to get anything out of it, and they're not really getting anything out of the conversation. But if you actually explore and are curious, you're definitely going to gain something from it, because you're getting a different perspective, and they're getting the benefit of explaining their position in a non-pressurized way. So I think you've done that a lot better, the listening skill. I think over time, like, it's already pretty much happened where, like, when you go out and talk to people, being able to do that is just, you're going to feel like you're more engaged in the conversation too. And then overall, like, in terms of results too, I mean, obviously, like, you've improved as well. I think that's a combination of, I mean, in the very beginning I talked about 3 factors for improvement, like tracking your progress, having like-minded peers, and having a mentor. And I think the combination of those 3 factors have produced your results. So I think, like, hanging out with Brian is definitely an instrumental part of it too. But then at the same time, like tracking your progress and having people watch over you and holding you accountable for things is also important. Because I guess, like, if we hadn't pushed you into finding like-minded people that were better, then maybe you wouldn't have adhered as much to Brian's advice.
Yeah, that's true.
But it all works together, because hanging out with Brian is just as important as both of the other things. It's like the government, 3 branches of government, so they all hold each other in check.
You, Brian, and
like the balance of powers, or whatever. And then the more you can bring in and find people and be open-minded to meeting new people that have that, like the sort of lifestyle you're aspiring towards, or the skill set that they have, then you're going to just continue to get better. And that's why the night we met Sergey, I remember the first thing I said to him outside the club was, I can tell that you're really experienced. Like, if you had one thing, like one piece of advice for someone, what would you say to them? And I just told, like, I didn't tell him that I was a coach or anything. Like, I genuinely want to know from that position, like, what would he tell me to improve my game? And it wasn't about, like, asserting my ego as, like, oh, I've been in Vegas immersion, I've done all this. I just, like, put all that aside and just wanted to listen to what he had to say. And the more you do that with people, the more you want to be their student, the more they're going to want to take you under their wing as well. So that's pretty much it.
I definitely noticed some drastic changes since I met you, last month. In a more positive way.
Now I'm thinking about the whole price point thing too, because then I wonder, like, what would you say the value you got from immersion compared to the last month?
Pretty comparable, actually.
And see, that's what I wonder then. It's like, because immersion costs like $2,000.
It's very different, unique experience. Like, you can't get any kind of experience like in Vegas. You can't get any different. You can't get any like similar experience to to like Vegas commercial
living, yeah,
living here for months
and having a community,
just going out constantly. Like you can't get that anywhere.
Yeah.
But then again, it kind of goes to having that momentum, you know. And one of the Derek's instructors, assistant was saying today, momentum is a trap for intermediates, because if you're really that guy who deserves women, like quality woman in your life, like you wouldn't need a momentum.
Yeah.
Like you'd be able.
I agree with that too.
Yeah, he was saying like last night was like the first night I've gone in like 3 months.
Yeah.
And then he like pulled 2 times.
Yeah.
Because he deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
Like as he, like for who he was.
Was that which assistant was it? Was it Michael or Ryan?
The third one. Like
okay.
The one who didn't talk last time.
But did he have glasses?
No.
Oh. What did he look like?
He was kind of like that dude, like not the leprechaun dude, but like kind of like a business looking guy dude.
But he didn't talk before?
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, Vegas?
I was gonna say, yeah, I agree with that though.
Yeah.
Like I think once you actually get to the point where, you actually have built that as your identity instead of just a skill set.
Yeah.
Then you can just go out anytime you want, and you can take as much time as you want off.
Yeah.
Actually, like Ashkan questioned me on this too, where he was like, are you ever afraid that you're gonna just like lose your skills after not going out for a while?
Yeah.
And I'm like, not really. When you go out, it's the same thing that we always did. It's just talking to people.
Yeah.
And maybe you feel a bit anxious at first, but that's pretty natural. Especially if you work on your anxiety in the off time, where I was like doing subconscious releases and things like that. If I went out for myself, then I would just snap right back into it. Like on Wednesday night, I guess I had 2 prior days where we were going out, and I was out at a nightclub.
Yeah.
But even when I was like, so when I'm coaching, it's a little bit different. On the Monday and Tuesday, because I definitely go into my head because I'm observing. I'm like watching to see what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to like transition immediately into being present. Although I used to practice doing that when I was doing one-on-ones that 1 month. While the student was in set, I would try to like see how many girls I could make out with while he was in set. So, but yeah, I guess the point is, the first night I came back to surrender, not this week, but a couple months ago, I hadn't gone out in a month. And when I went out, it was just like I'd just been out the previous week, basically.
Yeah.
It didn't feel any different.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of like, I think part of it is the tiredness thing, where when you think you're tired because you only got 4 hours of sleep, then you're going to be tired. Whereas if you don't think about it, you're not going to be that tired. So if you go out thinking that you're going to suck because you haven't been out in like 7 months, then you're probably going to suck. But at the same time, if you just go out and realize, oh, I'm just having fun, you're probably going to have fun. Because I've noticed that with promoters too, like they don't know about game, but when they take time off and come back to the venue, they're excited to come back. It's like, oh shit, I missed this.
Yeah.
They're just framing it completely differently, and for them, they actually have a more positive experience taking a break and coming back.
Yeah. So
it doesn't make sense for us to like take a break and come back and start sucking again.
Yeah.
Because that's just getting us in our heads.
Yeah.
So it's all a matter of like how you look at it, but not even just that, but it's like if you're genuinely self-improved, then you can just socialize with people on a higher level all the time.
Yeah.
It's the engagement thing. It's like as soon as you wake up, like how are you engaging with your roommate? How are you engaging with the grocery store clerk?
Exactly.
Because that all transfers over to the way you engage with people in a nightclub.
Yeah, I used to always be afraid of like
taking time off.
Yeah, the immersion too. Like fuck, I can't game for another 3 months. I'm gonna fucking suck.
Yeah.
And that actually did happen.
Yeah.
And
it becomes self-fulfilling once you think about it.
Yeah, and I kind of another reason why I like stopped doing became hesitant about going through empirical. kind of field was because if I was in field, like somewhere like in Amazon for 3 months, like I would come back and I would be like stuck in a game. Maybe I don't want to do that. That was like part of the reason why I didn't want to do empirical study.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to do theoretical.
Yeah. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I went to Thailand, I guess when I went to Thailand, I actually kind of feared that too initially, and then I realized that guys like Tom and Garrett, like they weren't going out, but then once we did go out, they fucking killed it.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you do that? They're like, I don't know, like we're having fun. Like they don't overthink it like other guys do.
Yeah.
So they're just like, I mean, we're out, like we might as well have fun.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about, oh, I suck because I haven't been out in like 3 months.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a whole different mentality.
Yeah. Hey, do you think you can drive me there?
Yeah. You need to go. Where do you need to go?
Stratosphere.
Okay.